Kim Kardashian yells at her children while acknowledging that being a parent is the toughest job. Hi, before we continue, please subscribe to the channel for all Kardashians news and update. Kim Kardashian has often been seen as someone who can handle everything with style, grace, and confidence. She is a businesswoman, a reality television star, a lawyer in training, a fashion icon, and one of the most famous people in the world. From the outside, it can sometimes seem like she has it all figured out, but even someone as successful as Kim admits that there is one role in her life that pushes her more than anything else, and that is being a mother. In the latest episode of The Kardashians, fans got to see a very real and very unfiltered side of Kim as she struggled to manage her 4 children, admitting openly that parenting is by far the hardest job she has ever had. Kim is the mother of 4 children, all of whom she shares with her former husband Kanye West. Her oldest child, North, is now 11 years old. Then there is Saint, who is 9, followed by Chicago, who is 7, and her youngest, Sam, who is 5. Kim has primary custody and is the main caregiver, which means that despite all of her business responsibilities and the many events she has to attend, she is also the one who spends the most time looking after the kids. This is something she takes very seriously, but it is also something that weighs on her heavily. The new episode of The Kardashians gave viewers a look at one of those moments that all parents can relate to, when kids simply refuse to listen and the situation quickly becomes overwhelming. Kim was sitting with her mom, Kris Jenner, and 2 event planners as they watched her son Saint outside. He was riding a Cybertruck ATV, showing off his wheelies. At first, it looked like harmless fun, but Kim's nerves immediately kicked in when her youngest, Sam, decided to climb on the back of the moving vehicle. As any protective parent would, she became concerned for their safety and told them to be careful. Her worry only grew when Kris, watching from the table, pointed out that Saint was doing wheelies on the cement. The thought of her son possibly losing control and injuring himself was enough to make Kim leave the conversation she was having inside. She rushed out the door, yelling for her boys to listen to her. Her tone was full of frustration as she warned them to stop what they were doing immediately. She shouted that it was not funny, calling out both Sam and Saint by name, and reminding them that they could easily fall and crack their heads open. She even added that an accident like that could ruin their whole summer. What stood out about this moment was how much emotion Kim showed. She was not acting for the cameras, she was simply a mom trying to protect her children, and her fear and frustration were written all over her face. Even though she demanded they stop, Saint continued to move the ATV, pushing Kim's patience further. Parents watching this scene could relate instantly, because no matter who you are, there are moments when kids just refuse to listen, and it becomes incredibly stressful. One of the producers behind the cameras then asked Kim a direct question, wanting to know if parenting was truly the hardest job she had ever had. Without hesitation, Kim admitted that it absolutely was. She did not try to sugarcoat her answer. She said yes, it was the hardest job, and she emphasized just how much it challenges her. She explained that although she has grown tougher and more firm over the years, nothing else compares to the difficulty of raising children. This is not the first time Kim has been honest about the struggles of being a single parent. In fact, she has shared before that the reality of raising 4 children largely on her own often leaves her exhausted and overwhelmed. In a podcast last year, she spoke openly about how lonely it can feel at times. She described those nights when all of her kids end up in her bed, kicking, crying, and waking her up throughout the night. She explained that it is not something she talks about often because she feels that people are quick to judge her situation. She said that many people assume that because she has money and resources, she should not struggle. They point to the fact that she can hire nannies and assistants, but Kim explained that none of that changes the fact that she is essentially raising her 4 kids by herself. She gave an example of mornings in her house, which she compared to the chaos of a pit stop at a race. Even though she has help, she is the one responsible for organizing everyone, making sure they get ready, and ensuring that they leave on time. She said that her mornings involve carpooling multiple kids, each of whom has different needs, schedules, and demands. North might want something completely different from Saint, while Chicago and Sam are on their own routines. Juggling all of those personalities and schedules at once can feel like a race against the clock, leaving Kim drained before her workday even begins. Her honesty is part of why so many people relate to her, even though her lifestyle is very different from most families. She is incredibly wealthy. She lives in one of the most luxurious homes in the world, and she has access to staff who can assist her at any time. Yet at the end of the day, when it comes to the emotional responsibility of raising her kids, she feels the same pressure that any parent does. She admitted that no matter how much help she might technically have, the emotional labor, the discipline, and the guidance all come down to her. Watching Kim lose her patience in the episode was a reminder that parenting is not glamorous, even for someone who spends her life surrounded by cameras and fame. It was a raw and unfiltered moment that showed the weight of motherhood. Her yelling at Saint and Sam came not from anger alone, but from fear and love. She wanted them safe, and she wanted them to understand the risks of what they were doing. That fear, combined with the exhaustion of constantly being in charge of 4 young kids, spilled out into a moment that fans could clearly see was very real. Over the years, Kim has often shared how much she loves being a mother. She has said that her children are her greatest blessing and that everything she does is for them. But at the same time, she has never hidden the fact that motherhood challenges her in ways that nothing else has. Balancing a global brand, law school studies, business ventures, and reality television with full-time parenting is a massive responsibility. Unlike a business project, motherhood has no breaks, no pause button, and no easy answers. It is a job that runs 24 hours a day, and Kim has been honest about just how heavy that responsibility feels. Her openness about the subject has made her more relatable to fans who might otherwise think her life is perfect. By admitting that she loses her temper, that she feels overwhelmed, and that she finds parenting to be harder than anything else she has ever done, she reminds people that fame and fortune do not erase the challenges of raising children. As viewers watched the episode, many took to social media to share their own experiences. Parents expressed how much they related to Kim's struggles, saying that they too have moments when their kids do not listen, when mornings feel impossible, and when exhaustion takes over. The clip of Kim yelling at her boys while still trying to maintain some control over the situation resonated because it was so authentic. Kim's journey as a mother has always been central to her story. From the time she first became pregnant with North, her fans have followed her experiences closely. They have seen her navigate pregnancies, co-parenting challenges, and now the reality of single motherhood. Each stage has shown new sides of her, but through it all, she has remained clear about one thing. Thanks for watching. Please do well to share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more Kardashian updates.